What's up, everybody? I'm Katie,
And I'm Morgan.
and this is For Your Misinformation. We are two Midwestern feminists here to break down the political news that you need to know without the misinformation that you don't.
Let us break down the problem and tell you what we're doing and what you can do to help solve it.
Morgan.
Katie.
Hi.
Hey.
Long time no talk.
It has been. We need to not do that.
Yeah, I don't like it. But
Either.
so I think we've both been having like a hard couple of weeks. Like it's fine. I mean, we were just like chatting before we started recording. Like nothing's like wrong. It's just everything's hard.
Yeah.
But I've been in a better mood since when did we decided a couple of days ago that it's safe enough for you to come visit.
Yeah. Okay. That is giving me so much life. I cannot wait.
I know.
Self-care minute. What if we got pedicures?
Oh my gosh, that's such a good idea.
I've never had one in
Oh
my
my
whole
gosh.
life, and I feel like you would be a good person to go get my first one with.
Yes, and I know the perfect spot. Okay, that's exciting.
Ooh, I love this.
And our kitten, little Beanie, will be like 8 weeks old, which is like, I mean, how do you decide which age is the best? Like, they're all really great, but they're super like playful around then, but they still like sleep a lot, so they're real cuddly. Like, that'll be a great time to visit.
I cannot wait. Everybody get vaccinated so you can go visit your friends.
Yes, please, 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 please. All right, I wanted to talk about I don't know, there's a lot of stuff that I want to talk about, but I want to talk about like this little this moment in time. And I feel like we've talked about this before, but like I've been thinking about it as we're in a boat and there are islands off in the distance. And like no matter what, it's going to take time to get to either of those islands. But like the Senate is steering the ship, and the Senate is 50-50 Democratic and Republican. And most Americans are like, can we go towards this island over here that like provides more support for women who are like trying to be working mothers, or like, can we get some voting protections, like all this stuff? And the Senate Republicans are like, no, we're steering this boat. I know that it's 50-50, but because of the filibuster, you don't get to steer anything. We get to steer the whole thing. Fuck
So
you.
instead, nobody's steering and we're just like drifting around.
Yeah. But like the tide or the waves or the current is going to take us towards Handmaid's Taleville or Handmaid's Tale Island if we keep letting like Republicans steer the ship. And we know that because you can see the types of legislation that is getting passed in states that are controlled by Republican legislatures.
Right. Plus, like, if you look at the Supreme Court, if these bills do go to the Supreme Court, when inevitably they get challenged,
exactly.
it's not going to be great.
There's all these like very important puzzle pieces that go with democracy, like strengthening democracy, and like expanding the court would be one of them. Like DC statehood would be one of them. For the People Act, the John Lewis Voting Rights Act would be one of them. And like the more we can get, the better. But it's just like, it doesn't seem to me like at least Democratic leadership understands like the direness of the situation. So I don't feel like great. I think I'm at like a 5 out of 10 on like the democracy vibe check.
Yeah. I will agree with that because I think the Democratic leadership is, I don't want to say too old, but I think the Democratic leadership is almost like blissfully naive of the actual like impending threats that are in the future.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not good because, I mean, the Democratic leadership, they're not going to be the ones that are in the here in the future in 30 years dealing with the wreckage.
Dealing with how we're going to live on Handmaid's Tale Island.
Yeah.
Like Nancy Pelosi's never going to make it to Handmaid's Tale Island. She's
No, she's not. She doesn't
yeah.
have to worry about it.
Right. So yeah, I guess I'm a little bit stressed about it. There are bills in the Illinois legislature that, you know, are like, because we have a Democratic trifecta, are things that make sense. Like there's a Clean Energy Jobs Act, and there's a bill about ending qualified immunity. There's a bill about comprehensive sex education being mandated in schools. That's mandated in 30 states, but Illinois is not one of them. But then there's also groups that are working to keep bills like the parental notice of abortion in place, Illinois right to life. Oh my gosh, I forgot. They just had a banquet. So I know I told you this, but I joined. I'm a member of all the pro-choice groups who like have a whip count of which Illinois Democratic senators and representatives are on board with repealing parental notice of abortion. But I also joined Illinois Right to Life, which is a pro-life group, which I like disagree with everything that they stand for. But I love getting these emails that are like, hey, file a witness slip because Democrats are trying to make your kid get an abortion. And it's like, what are they talking? But I'd like to know. I'm glad to be in the loop. So they just had a banquet and I could check. They posted a Flickr album about it. And I got to look through like dozens of pictures of these pro-life Illinoisans. I don't know. Guess, you'll never guess. I don't know. This is kind of mean, but like, guess who their guest speaker was? Okay, I'm gonna do an impression.
Is it Rod Blagojevich?
It was a woman.
Was it that Kim Davis lady?
Sarah Huckabee Sanders.
Oh shit! Seriously?
Yeah, she was here. Like, there's a ton of pictures with her, and it's just like, you guys could be doing something like useful with your lives, right? Like instead it's just like almost exclusively white people gathering in like a banquet hall. I think I saw one mask, although it was like partially outside. It looked like it was in some kind of like a patio thing, like an enclosed patio. It's interesting to see the kind of stuff that they're like blasting out to their members. And also to see like the kind of language that they use, because it's so inflammatory. That's the perfect word for it. Yeah, it's so inflammatory. I read some of it on my Instagram account. I'm going to read some of it here just because I know there are more of you that aren't on Instagram. Also, thank you. Thank you to everybody who listens at all. I'm going to read to you this email. So this is not about parental notice of abortion. It's actually about what was formerly called the REACH Act, but basically it's just like mandating comprehensive sex ed in schools, age-appropriate sex ed in schools, which is something that the pro-life people always seem to conveniently forget. But it starts with, Dear Kit, because that's my spy name. The extreme measures abortion advocates will go to in order to increase their profits at the expense of Illinois children know no bounds. This was made patently clear yet again this week by the extreme comprehensive sex education bill, formerly known as the REACH Act, that removes abstinence education for the first time from Illinois public schools. Okay. Lots of issues there. But like the one I would like to point out is everybody knows that abstinence-only sex education not only doesn't work, but it has like way worse health outcomes.
Everyone knows that. Like,
everyone knows that.
And guess what? It didn't even work in the 50s and 60s when they taught it to your grandparents.
It sure didn't. It just shamed people out of seeking like knowledge and help and all that stuff. It's just, like, I hope everyone knows that. We have 2 episodes.
Everyone who's willing to learn knows that.
That's a good
There's
point.
some people who refuse to accept it.
Yeah. It's
But-
just more like toxic purity culture stuff. And we have episodes called Girls Fuck you can go listen to that, you know, break that down.
We're probably going to have more episodes about it in the future because
It's always
just
relevant.
been something that's really been on my mind.
Yeah. The email is longer, but I don't want to read the whole thing, but the next part that like really stood out to me is the bottom line is abortion advocates want Illinois kids to think everyone's doing it. The more kids have sex, the more they will turn to Planned Parenthood for contraceptive services, other services, and ultimately abortion.
I pause as a person who has taught sex ed in Illinois. I can confirm that's actually like the opposite of what we teach. In fact, the like rates of sexually active teens have been decreasing, and that's one of the things that we talk to the kids about. How like you probably feel like everyone's doing it, but actually a lot of you are not, and that's great, and that's fine. Like, so hi, here to tell you that's another lie, and email of lies.
Set these like appropriate social norms where like no, we know that not everybody's doing it, but like a lot of people are doing it and they need to know, and everybody's going to do it eventually. And guess their parents are not going to tell them the truth. Morgan's going to tell them the truth.
I'm here
in an age appropriate way. Like,
yeah,
you're not going to explain to 5-year-olds what like spermicide is because that's not going to mean anything to them. Like, what you're going to teach 5-year-olds is that like, if somebody wants to give you a hug and you don't want to give them a hug, you don't have to. And then you start teaching about consent and boundaries real early. And we all live happy lives where nobody gets sexually assaulted.
Yeah. Boys learn like, and girls learn to keep their hands to themselves, as well as learn how to say like, hey, I'm uncomfortable right now when people are like making them uncomfortable.
Yeah.
It's
good stuff. It's good stuff. So everybody, if you live in Illinois, which a bunch of our listeners do, contact your state reps. Illinois.
Also,
go ahead.
Oh, go. You know what? Go ahead. Finish.
Just that our legislative session only goes through May 31st.
And if you're not in Illinois, your state may still be trying to pass some really shitty things.
Almost definitely.
I just thought, like, especially as Pride Month approaches, not that it's not always Pride Month in this house.
Nice.
Like, I love how a lot of these, like, pro-life conservative types are always like, well, kids shouldn't be exposed to the LGBTQ community because they don't understand boys kissing boys and two women getting married, and, like, you know, like saying we should try to, you know, keep the rainbow people hidden from the children. But these same people will like ask a 3-year-old if they have a girlfriend.
Right.
Or like look at a baby that's looking at another baby, like babies look at babies, which is blankly and with drool dribbling down their chin, and be like, oh, look at him, what a flirt.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay.
I know.
Yeah, but it's the gays who are sexualizing children. Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
It would just be really great if we could stop like using straight as the default and stop using white as the default, stop using male as the default. Like, nobody is the main character. Like, stop making yourself into the main character. Like, you don't get to be the boss of other people.
Right. It's just, it's so crazy. And I don't know, all like these kinds of emails are brought to you by the people who also believe in apparently limited government.
Yeah.
And, you know,
which the police
freedom.
are part of government. And they love the police. They love
the police, but also put Punisher stickers on their cars. I don't know.
What's that?
Like the Punisher, like the cartoon, like literally is like a rogue police officer.
Oh.
Yeah, that's the best way.
It's like
cut
an
that out if I'm like not describing
anarchy
it
thing.
Yeah, like it's definitely before the bootlickers started using it, was kind of more of like an anarchy symbol. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, the Punisher skull. You've probably seen it and not realized it.
Yeah, I'm sure I have. I'm sure I've seen it on a pickup truck or something. No.
Yeah,
not to
it's
generalize, sorry.
Like it's an ex-cop whose like wife gets killed and then goes like rogue and kills a bunch of people and stuff.
All right. Vigilante justice.
Yeah. It's like the opposite of cops. But they're like, we're going to put a blue stripe on this Punisher skull and use it for our thing. I don't know. It's weird.
This is a little bit of a left turn, but the vet texted me this week and was like, hey, we have 3 6-week-old kittens that their foster has like a family emergency out of state. They're going to be gone for like 4 or 5 days. Can you hold on to them? And also, this is not allowed, so I'm going to say allegedly, but I texted my friend Abby, who has a 6-year-old who is very into kittens. So I was like, obviously I see myself in her, and was like, I'm going to be this young girl's kitten dealer. So she came over last week to hang out with our little nugget in the basement. And then when the vet texted me that, I was like, I wonder if they'd want to take care of them. Because, like, honestly, we don't really have. I mean, like, I could keep them in my room, but it's, like, real stinky when you do that. I'm not into it.
Stinks.
So I was like, maybe they can hold on to it. So they have been. But on my way back, like, I live in Marie Newman's district. Like, it's a pretty blue area.
Yeah.
I passed a Blue Lives Matter flag, like, proudly out, like, a couple doors down from Abby's house when I was dropping off the kittens. And it's just like, damn, yeah, they really do be everywhere.
They do be. They're also just loud.
Yeah.
And I think that's another thing to remind people. Like, look at climate change. Like, 70% of people recognize and understand that, like, climate change is a real thing. Not everybody fully understands, like, the impact and the threat that it poses to our health and our livelihoods, our economy, our planet. But they understand, they're like, oh yeah, there's like a real weird thing going on with climate, something or other. It's just like that, like, small percent that doesn't is very loud about it.
Yeah.
And I do try to remind myself of that on the days that I feel like that scene from Lion King where Scar's like, I'm surrounded by idiots. Sometimes I feel that way when
That's
I go
what
for
the
a jog
Senate
around
is.
my neighborhood and I still see Trump flags. I'm like,
I mean, statistically, you're in like deep Trump country, probably, right?
Oh, I'm in a very white area here. Like, Des Moines itself is blue, but there are some real white areas in the metro, and I am in the heart of one of them. But I also saw a homemade sign that somebody had painted, and they put it in their yard, and it said, COVID Kim has got to go. And I wanted to leave a nice letter in their mailbox.
You still could. I would. That reminds me of something that I have not yet set up, but I would really, really like to do. I would love to set up a Google form and put it in the bio of our episodes. So if listeners have like tea to spill about stuff going on in their state, I would love to know, especially if you live in a swing state, but really I want to know what's up.
Yeah, in a swing state, or like if you have a governor that is up for re-election soon, like mine, and there's some real loyalists out there, but that approval rating is lower than it's ever been, and
or
interesting stuff.
Tell us if you live in a district with an elected official who voted against certifying the election results because there's 147 of them, you know? I mean, I guess 7 or 8 of them were senators, but yeah, tell us if your representative is still like a staunch Trump supporter, because like 95% of Republican reps still are. Like Liz Cheney is about to get kicked out of leadership because she refuses to admit, like she refuses to go along with the big lie, basically. She's going to get kicked out. And Elise Stefanik is going to get ushered in. And Elise Stefanik went to an Ivy League school, like, and still would rather be loyal to Trump. I don't know. I'm just scared.
Look, Jared Kushner also went to an Ivy League school, so it doesn't necessarily mean that you're smart.
Yeah, that's true. But I think
good
like
at anything except for being rich.
His dad for sure gave them several $1 million. We talked about it in whatever episode we talked about the Kushners. Slumlord. Oh, sorry. Something about slumlords. They're slumlords.
We should have called it Slumlord Millionaire.
Yeah. Did we not?
I could have a whole podcast called Slumlord Millionaire where I just talk about shitty landlords.
Yeah.
I would love that. Landlords are like the worst people. I know. Shout out to my awesome landlords I did one time have. I'm not talking about you. I loved you guys. You were a very cute little couple, and you were lovely people.
Where?
All the rest of them, actually, it was in the Quad Cities.
Interesting.
Davenport, Iowa. I had wonderful landlords.
So yeah, I would really love to hear from you guys, and then I'd love to also put in like what kind of topics you'd like to hear about. Because I want to do deep dives on stuff like Josh Duggar and but also
we haven't talked about Matt Gaetz enough.
Why does he still have committee assignments? Like,
why does he still have a head on his shoulders?
Yeah.
Sorry, NSA, that is a joke.
Yes. We're not doing any vigilante justice.
No, I'm too tired.
We're just talking shit on a podcast, and that's not illegal yet. What else have I been like wanting to talk about? I'm always like, that's not a big enough deal. Like, you should land on stuff that is like a big deal. But then also, so I'm like, I should talk about unions. But then it's like, oh, that's so hard. It's so much.
Yeah, I would love to talk a little bit about, especially because it's Asian American and Pacific Islander like Heritage Month. I would love to talk a little bit about like the Asian American hate crime bill.
Oh yeah.
Bills like some states have passed, the Senate did. Talk shit about the people who disapprove of of it. Like, what's wrong with you? And also just remind people to be extra supportive to your local like small business owners, particularly the Asian ones. And like, if you see people being assholes, tell them to stop it, or like punch them in the face. They're probably Nazis, and it's okay to punch Nazis.
Yep.
Because seriously, like, it's like I have a coworker who is like afraid to wear a mask because she thinks people are going to see her as an Asian woman with a mask and just be aggressive.
Yeah, and she's right to feel that way.
And she's right. And like she's been saying for a long time, she's like, nobody in this country wears masks. And that's weird to me. She's like, when you're sick, you should have it.
Yeah.
Especially if you're going to be in a crowded area or like when the air is bad.
Yep.
And,
smart.
And like, she's like, but I don't feel like I can because I'm Chinese and I'm afraid people will be mean. And I'm just like, yeah, they probably will be because people can be terrible.
And we've had leadership for the last 4 years that were like, that's normal and fine.
Yeah. So, like, you can support the COVID crisis in India. Granted, we can't change the politics in India, and like we know, Modi is somebody that's got to go because he's terrible.
He's another strong man.
Yeah, but like, since there's very limited amount of things we can do right now to get that guy out, except for like if somebody wants to take him for the team and give him COVID, I don't know. you can donate right now. Doctors Without Borders is doing work there. The International Rescue Committee, UNICEF, and, other reminders too that, like, if you go to a yoga studio and your thin white yoga teacher is not recognizing the crisis in India, like, maybe call them out on it. You don't have to be rude, but, they're profiting from the practice of an entire culture that a lot of white people have kind of like taken without giving any credit to. I
didn't even think about that.
We talk about cultural appropriation versus cultural appreciation. Just be a good opportunity for yoga practitioners or others who, practice Eastern medicine and philosophy, profit from Ayurveda or whatever else it might be, to slip some money over to where it's desperately needed right now.
Yeah. Oxygen for India is another place that you can donate money. It's organized by the International Center for Disease Dynamics, Economics, and Policy. They're like helping people navigate the systems to get oxygen cylinders and concentrators for free for people. And then Project Hope is a global aid organization that's distributing medical supplies in India and educating communities about how to stop COVID-19 from spreading. We try to make sure that verify, I think that's the word I'm looking for, these organizations that we talk about. But Charity Navigator is also a really good place to visit if you're like, Project Hope, that sounds kind of sketch. You can go to Charity Navigator and check them out and see like what percentage of funds they actually send to, or like is spent doing their work and not spent like paying their CEOs or whatever.
Yeah.
They get rated. So you can always check that out. That's a good point. So I think let's wrap up politics stuff there. We can talk more about it next week. But I want to know what's up with your feral colony. Like, I know that
yeah, I think I gave a really brief update on that. I know it was a while ago.
What's happening?
There are not very many feral cats left, but there are a few. I don't know where the rest of them went. I don't know.
I'm sure they're managing.
Yeah, I'm sure that they're fine. They're pretty resourceful little creatures. I'm a little sad, obviously, because I did like the cats, and I was really like looking forward to doing some TNR this year. And now the whole situation out where they were, which is not my property, and I don't actually know the owners. It's a little bit more difficult now for me to get there for trapping.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that I can find a way to make it work. If we have any listeners in the Des Moines area who would like to help out, that would be great, because there's definitely like a strength in numbers kind of thing. And yeah, it just like, I wouldn't call it a dangerous place, but it does help to have someone with you, especially seeing as new people now own it. And so I don't actually know if I have permission to be there anymore.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad that some of them are still around.
Yeah,
isn't there like a big orange one?
There's a couple orange ones who I love. One of them is my sweet baby, and I have not seen him. And I'm very sad about that. He would like come up and meow at me until I gave him chicken. He loves chicken from the can. But that's okay. There's another one out there who's a like diluted tortie.
Cute.
Really pretty, and she let me pet her a couple times. Only while she was eating.
That's probably the mom of the one that Eliza?
Yeah, I think it's probably the mom of Eliza from last summer, because she was so sweet. That kitten was like, went from feral to like a sweet, purring, needy little thing so fast. So I'm like, okay, I'm pretty sure that this gotta be her mom, because she's real sweet. Her name's Fancy. I'm hoping that I can maybe get her TNR'd this summer. I'd like to be doing that like right now, but it's been a busy season and it's been really tricky because I don't live nearby the colony anymore. So it's really hard for me to get out there at like 6 a.m.
Is the weather nice where you are right now?
Yeah,
Okay,
the weather's nice. So I got to get some cats trapped so that we can perform kitty abortions because inevitably there's some that are already pregnant.
Yeah. It's been cold here. I think that's part of the reason that I've been so bummed is like it's been in like the 50s for like a week.
Okay. Well, I mean, that's what it's been mostly here too.
Oh.
But like I
been
felt
like
like
dreary.
that's been nice. Yeah, it's been sunny here this week. The week before it was kind of rainy, but then it got really hot for like 2 days.
Nice. I hope it gets nicer next week because like my mood really does go up when like the sun comes out. Oh,
yeah.
Okay. I thought I didn't really have any self-care, but then I realized we haven't recorded a podcast in a while. I went on a bike ride and saw 2 beavers. It was cool. It was so cool.
Oh, I love beavers. They're so cute.
I've never seen the one in the wild before.
Yeah, beavers are cool.
As soon as it's not like 50 degrees, I'm going to go back and see if they're still there because...
Should I bring my bike when I come visit you?
You totally could. We also probably have one that you could ride.
That
but it wouldn't
makes
be
more
like
sense.
a nice one.
That's okay.
Okay.
That probably makes more sense.
It can get you to the forest preserve.
Yeah.
Where we can watch for beavers and deer.
I saw a great blue heron on my run the other day, and
Nice.
I was really excited about it because it was in town.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was just like at the park. I was like, girl, what are you doing here?
I wonder if the cicadas will be here by the time you visit.
It could be. Yeah, because we're not going to get brood 10 here.
I don't think we're getting brood 10 either. I think we're brood 13. I mean, we might get them, but I think the like really intense year is brood 13. I don't know. I do think they're fine, but like they're old enough to drive. They're like 17 years old.
That's weird.
They're old. Like they're just chilling like inches under the surface, living their weird bug life. And then after 17 years, they're like, you know what? I'm going to come out. I'm going to shed this skin. I'll be white for a little while, which is creepy as fuck. And then they like harden and can fly around. Did you know that it's mostly like the boys come out first? Because
and then they get eaten by birds.
Yes. Dummies.
Yeah. It's like cicadas. I feel like they should have worked in some cicada jokes into the show The Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt.
Oh, yeah.
Is, underground for like over a decade.
Yeah.
Missed opportunity. Hello, Hollywood.
Yeah.
I would like to apply to be a TV writer.
Ugh. Oh, okay. One last thing before we go. I wanted to tell you. So I helped Nick move Marie Newman's stuff back into her office, like her local office here. I guess it's technically like her campaign headquarters probably for re-election because the state reps have to run for re-election every 2 years. Oh, and Illinois is losing a congressional seat. Like we had, I think, 19 electoral votes, so we had 19 districts, including Mary Miller down in like southern Illinois in like Effingham, whose husband went to the Capitol riots on January 6th. He's like has a legit 3%er sticker on his truck. He's also in the Illinois state legislature. Like he's a state representative. She's a federal rep for Illinois in like whatever district is down there, Illinois 15th maybe. So anyway, it'll be interesting to see like how the districts get redrawn. And Republicans, like the National NRCC, I don't know, has identified Marie as a target for the 2022 election. So that's annoying. I don't know. I think everybody really likes her. She's really good at her job. I hope she keeps it. But anyway, I helped move her furniture into her campaign office. And I was like, Nick, it is so dreary in here. Can I please bring some plants? And he said yes. I did not think he was going to say yes, but I get to decorate Marie Newman's campaign office with plants, and I'm thrilled.
That's awesome. You can decorate my house with plants.
Gladly. I'll just leave very detailed notes about when they need to be watered.
Just leave me fake plants.
Yeah. All right. Well, it's been fun talking to you. Oh, do you think the guinea pigs might say hi?
They might. Let's give it a shot.
Hey, piggies, are you excited to be fully vaccinated? Thank you guys so much for listening to For Your Misinformation. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the podcast, and if you like it, give us a rating and a review.
It helps us find more listeners, and the more of us there are, the better. And make sure you follow us on Instagram and Twitter at FYMI Pod.
Shout out to Ben Schlofelt for the audio production, Hope Dye for the podcast art, Kyle Dibdahl for the intro and outro music, and Adam Roston, who edits these videos every week so you can watch them on YouTube.
We come out with new episodes every Monday.